I love this phrase. The 7 words that give you the single biggest competitive advantage in business pricing and marketing is start with the who, not the what. And this is what this statement is, what this slide is talking about is the entrepreneur starts with who is the customer we are trying to get to serve. Who out there has a flexible wallet? Who out there has unmet needs? Who out there could be offered something that if we put this in front of them, they would want to buy it. They would clamor to buy it, right? And what happens though, and I did this too. So I'm lumped right in there. I'm speaking from experience. When it's, most small business owners, myself included, when we start, we typically go, what am I going to sell? And we start with what we're good at, what we're capable at. We start by looking around at what other people are doing that we might admire. Oh, what's that guy doing? How is he packaging the services? What is he offering? What's the price point? How is he selling it? Right? So what we tend to do, and I did this, is we tend to copy other people, right? We don't tend to think customer first. We tend to think model, services, operations, pricing first, okay? And it's technically a mistake. So if somewhere down in the future, if I ever decide to start another business, I can tell you 100%, the thing I'm going to be looking for is an audience. I'm going to be looking for an audience that I can connect with, an audience that I like, an audience of like, I am one of them. So I love entrepreneurs. I love successful people. So if I were ever to start a business doing anything, if I had to start over, I would absolutely say, who is that audience that's out there? What are they buying? What do they want? What do they need? And how do I take what I do and package something for those kinds of people? Because that's who I am. That's what lights me up. That's what I'm passionate about. And so, because a mistake I think, again, a lot of people make is they go, well, what's the most lucrative target market for MSPs? Like who's buying managed services? And they base it solely on some industry report or survey. So you go, okay, well, construction companies are spending a lot on IT. We should build something for construction people. And that might be okay, except you might not like construction people. You might not like the industry. That might not light you up. You might not know anything about them. And when you're picking a target market, I think really, not only do you want to look at the demographics, but you really want to think about the psychographics as well, and think about who you want as a customer, and then back engineer, well, what the heck could we deliver and sell that would be interesting to them. Okay. And you know what, here's the thing. It doesn't even have to be what you sell them. Doesn't have to be radically different or unique. Okay. It can be just a spin on it for a specific type of person. Right. We're going to be talking about unique selling proposition in a bit, but it's, there's more and more as we go through life, there's less and less that is truly unique in the stuff, right? I mean, there's a million sellers of bottled water, of coffee, of any service. There's unlimited number of CPA firms out there, IT firms, there's banks, financial services, insurance agents, marketing companies. Like the world is full of everything. We are not in any kind of shortage of like, if I need new lighting put around the house, guess what? There's 20 companies in my area that can give me a quote and can do lighting, So today that's why all the more important in a crowded marketplace that you really think about who is that specific customer and how are we going to deliver IT services in a way to them that makes them want to do business with us. And it doesn't have to be radically different. Okay. It just has to be unique in of itself. I mean, like you look at fast food restaurants. So, McDonald's has a very unique way of delivering what it delivers. And so does In-N-Out Burger, right? Now we could both say they're burger joints, right? They're both fast food, but the way they deliver it, how they deliver it, who they're for, totally different type of audience. Or, I'm trying to think, there's a fast food place that is just salads, like really healthy organic salads and smoothies and stuff. Now they're both like McDonald's and this company, they're both fast food restaurants, right? They're both serving food. So mechanically they're doing pretty much the same thing, But obviously McDonald's is looking for a different audience than somebody, I'm trying to think of the name of the franchise. It's a real successful one that is selling like organic salads and smoothies and health food and et cetera, right? So again, I just want, I'm getting you to kind of start thinking about, but always start with who do you want as a customer, even in marketing campaigns. When you're creating a marketing campaign, always who are we talking to? What do we know about them? What is our relationship with them? Will they know us when we come knock on their door? And I'm proverbial knock on the door, whether that's a knock on a door with a phone call or a direct mail letter or a Facebook ad or whatever it is. Will they know us, and what will they think about us, and what will their concerns be, and what are their fears? What are their problems? What's their situation right now? And so the more you get to know your customer, the better you're going to be at creating products and services that serve them. All right. So why the who first? Your chosen target market's going to determine your business model, what you sell, how you package and price services, your contracts, the people you hire, your marketing message. Everything that you talk about in your marketing message needs to detail out who that customer is. The media that you use, and your entire sales and marketing approach, right? So if you're selling break fix services to consumers or very small micro self-employed and micro businesses, you might need to have a storefront. That might be real important because people kind of want to walk in and talk to you and so forth. Now, if we're selling to, say like to larger organizations, maybe not enterprise, but let's say we're selling to larger organizations, small business. I mean, how you market to the CEO of a hospital is going to be different than how do you do marketing to a guy running a real estate firm with like 10 employees, right? They have entirely different budgets. They have entirely different needs, different concerns. The CEO of a bank is going to care a lot about security and compliance, where the CEO of let's say a small like poodle grooming place locally might not care so much about it, right? And so again, you have to really think about who you want, because it's going to direct everything else that you're doing in your business. But what most business owners do is they just kind of put a thumbtack in a map, like a Google map, all right? Not like a real map. And what they do is they just say, okay, our customers, anybody in this certain mile radius with 10 to 100 computers, right? And, that is overly simplistic. All right. So let me give you an example of why just saying, hey, every business with 10 to 100 computers within, an hour drive of our office, let's say, is, that's who our target market is. So let's suppose that's your claim. You say, hey, our target market is made up of small businesses with 10 or more PCs in a certain geographic area. And let's suppose you research this and you find out there's 30,000 of them. I actually did this with a client. They were up in New England area, right? And they got on a one-on-one consulting call with me a couple of years ago. And they were like, hey, everybody with 10 or more computers, that's our target market. I said, well, how many of them are there out there in your area? And they said, I have no idea. So we did a little Google search together, and it popped up. There was about 30,000 small businesses or just businesses in their area. So let's suppose further your budget for marketing is maybe like you could spend $5,000 a month on new client acquisition, which, guys, that's not a huge amount of money. I know for some of you that might sound like a lot, but it's not a lot. But let's say just on new client acquisition, we can spend $5,000 a month. So if we said, okay, we're going to do a postcard, and a postcard is not an expensive mailer. It's a rather inexpensive mailer. We narrowed the list down to 1/3. Say we're only going to, out of the 30,000, we're going to narrow it down to 1/3 of that. We're going to get it down to 10,000, and we're going to hire a telemarketing company to do a 3-call follow-up, right? So postcard, 3-call follow-up, that's one campaign. All right. The costs are going to be about $60,000, and the response would most likely be very, very low, because cold lists are the hardest to convert. You need more than one pass. The average, you need repetition, because most prospects aren't ready to buy or switch providers the minute you mail them. So when you think about the buying cycle of most of MSP services, I mean, people aren't changing their MSP every year. I mean, they're changing every 3-5 years, maybe at most. And that's because at the 3-5 year, what it used to be is it would follow server upgrades. So when a client needed a new server and there was a big project, it got them thinking, no, 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 do we want the guy we have doing the project, right? Now it's a little bit different today, but it still kind of follows that 3 to 5 year model, because a lot of MSPs sell on 3-year contracts, right? So you think about it, like if you're just going to do one pass at an audience one time without sufficient repetition, and you need a lot of repetition to get this done, you're not even making a dent, right? And then, you know, if we were sending out to 10,000 people, the CEO, like I said, the CEO of a company with 10 computers is an entirely different CEO than 100. So if you just pulled 10,000 people down and said, we're going to butcher, baker, candlestick maker in there as a CEO of a small real estate firm with 10 employees, and who's also in there is the CEO of a company like a financial, maybe a payroll company, and they've got 100 employees. Well, like, two totally different audiences, and sending one postcard with one message and one offer is going to be really hard to make it work because it's so generic. All right. So the bottom line is you can't boil the ocean.